Good morning, students. How are you? See, once again, I am coming to you in the form of this small video. Hope you'll watch. This video is especially for those who have missed somewhere, could not see, could not follow the last. They did not see the importance of it, maybe. And so, if you have you fall into that category, then please take your book, literature book. Today we will discuss about Tom Sawyer's gang. It's the second lesson. And just to come to the point here, in this lesson, this is a story, and in this story, there are four characters. Huck is a small boy. He is an orphan boy. He has no parents, and so he becomes or he falls into the hands of Tom. He becomes a friend to Tom, who is considered to be not very good boy. He just loafer, moves here and there, and so they think both of them they move together. Okay, they become good friends, but very not in a good sense. Next one is the widow Douglas and her sister Miss Watson. Widow Douglas and her sister Miss Watson, they live together, and so these boys one day they thought that let us go and steal something from Miss Watson, and so they enter, and when they enter they are caught, and they come to know that somebody is there. They start shouting, and Tom runs away, and Huck gets caught up, and so he does not know what to do. Then when they ask, who are you and all that, he is not able to answer. Slowly they come to know that he is an orphan boy. So Miss Watson and Douglas, they both of them, they decide at the end, they decide to keep the boy in their homes and try to teach him lessons and all that, so that he becomes a good boy, and they can keep him in their home. That was the intention, very good intention. But they had got Mr. Tom. This Mr. Tom was a boy whose loafer. He was moving here and there, so he comes in rescue of Huck. So he makes some noise. They had got some signals, and then he one night he jumps off the house, and then he runs away. So the story is here. See, the story is here. He runs away. Then how they go. Then how they make later on. They meet other friends, other gangs, and other 4-5 friends, boys, and then they together they make the gang. This gang means a group of robbers. Gang means it's a collective noun. Okay, so group of robbers. So this they decide later on to rob the highways. People, those who are going on the highways, travelers and all that, they plan to rob them and take away the things and all that. So this is the story. Then they are caught by the police later on, which is not here in our lesson. They are caught. After that they discover everything, and then they help policeman to catch a big notorious person. So they when police catches this notorious man, then they award these boys. So see, blessing in disguise. What is that? Blessing in disguise. By doing bad things, they did good things also. So that is the story is about. And so how person when a student, when he is not obedient to his parents, not doing his studies properly, he falls into the hands of the bad boys, because that's what he likes to do when he has nothing to do with good things. He escapes himself or runs away from good things. He falls in the prey of the bad gangs. So this is what the story is. So let us go through this lesson. So we went tiptoeing along the path amongst the tree back towards the end of the widow's garden, stopping down so the branches couldn't scrape our heads. So they were quietly they're going tiptoeing. Tip means they're walking on the toes, so that the sound the is not heard. When you step on leaves and all that, some certain noise comes. So when you walk on your toes, then there is less noise and nobody can hear. So that is a tiptoeing. That means they are going walking on the tiptoe, quietly walking on the garden. Whose garden? Widow's garden. Who's the widow? Miss Douglas. Stooping down. Stooping means bending down, so that the branches on the tree, they will escape, they will not get hurt. When we were passing the kitchen, I fell over a root and made a noise. See? He fell over a noise, and then there was he fell down. Who is writing? Huck is writing here, and so he fell down. Miss Watson's big servant named Jim, Mr. Jim, was sitting or setting. Here setting is written, but meaning is sitting in the kitchen door. We could see him pretty clear. That means quite clear. Pretty clear means quite clearly sitting, that he was sitting at the kitchen door, because there was a light behind him, so we could see, and he could not see them. So he got up and stretched his neck out like this. He was stretched his neck, and he was listening to the noise. So he got up and he said, "Who's that?" He is saying, "Who's that?" Surely he will say, "Mr. Nobody." He listened there some more. Quietly he listened that somebody is tiptoeing and stood right behind us. We could have touched him. Almost we are very close, near. Pretty soon Jim said, "Say, who are you? What are you?" What are you means, who are you? What are you doing? What is your work? I am sure I heard something. Well, I knows what I am going to do. I know what I knows here. Don't say I knows. It's I know, actually. It's not grammatically, it is not correct. What I am going to do? I am going to sit down here and listen. Tell. Here I am here listening. Tell, who are you? So he sat down on the ground between me and Tom. That means Tom is there at this side and is in between. Now we have to go. So the moment either of us, he will be able to see. So he leaned his back against a tree, and stretched his leg out till it almost touched one of mine. My leg almost it touched. It was dark, so he could not see. My nose began to itch. So it itched till the tears came. When you don't itch, no. So what happens? Tears comes from eyes. It's connected together. So biologically, the tears began. Then it began to itch inside the nose. Next, I got to itch underneath. I started underneath. I didn't know how I was going. It is still sit still. How to sit still? It was he was itching underneath also. I was itching in 11 places. See, 11 places he counted also. You see, I reckoned I remember, I couldn't stand it more than a minute longer, but I set my teeth hard, bite his teeth, and got ready to try it and then to jump out. So just then Jim began to breathe heavily. Jim started, he was snoring, Well, that means he got sleep. And so Tom made a sign, he made a sign kind of the little noise with the mouth, and we went creeping. They creeping away on our hands and knees. On our hands and knees, they started creeping. But creeping means almost crawling to the ground, not stood and ran away on their feet. They are on their hands and knees. We cut along the path around the garden's fence. That means just escape from the fence, and then by and by reach the steep top of the hill on the other side of the house. Tom said, slipped Jim the hat off and then hang on it and it hang it on a limb right over him. And Jim stared it, but he didn't wake it. They took away. Tom took his cap, and then also he did not know. So what happens next? We'll see. Okay, bye.